Alrighty then. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday, April 29th. Welcome back to another edition of our Stay at Home Open Mic, aka the online mic. It has many names. Sometimes we call it the late mic. And we did kind of have a late start today. So if you were waiting for us to start, like that's first of all legit real one. Thank you so much. We've been doing this since April of 2020 when everything closed because of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. At least that's the way I remember it. Um, well, yeah, we're still going strong. In fact, we just tabulated and realized that we're on episode 211. So, we're over 200 episodes in, and we've been doing this every Monday. And this is an online mic, and just like any open mic, it's open for musicians, poets, songwriters, any kind of writers. So if you got some prose, just want to tell some stories, then come on through. It is welcome. Welcome, Sandy. Good to see you. You can always count on Sandy being in the live stream and interacting with us. And again, if you are watching, if you're tuning in live with us right now, say hello in the chat. That way, so we know you're here. Unlike a in-person show, our audience is intangible. We don't know. You could be anyone, but it does help to know who's here, and then just say hi. If you're listening from anywhere, where in the world are you listening from? Yeah, but like I was saying, this is like any other open mic. You have to sign up to perform. There is a link in the description of this YouTube video. And as long as we are live, we welcome. I think the list is okay enough that it's not too packed. We can still add a few people. So if you feel a little courage some way through the show, then go ahead and join us. Welcome, Christian. Good to have you here. Good to have you. By the way, if you are an EPCC student, hopefully you're having a great end of the semester. I know we're in our last week of classes and we'll be starting finals soon. So if you do need the Tejano passport code. I'll be dropping hints throughout the show how you can. I'm not after maybe middle of the show. I'll let you guys know how you can get that code. That way, so you can at least enjoy some performances. Otherwise, if I just give the code, you guys are gonna like take off and run. But enjoy the show. If you do want to sign up, there is room below. If you just want to check it out and maybe join us next week, that's also an option. So yeah, each performer gets 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing. We welcome original pieces, old pieces, pieces that have been dusted off, pieces that are brand new shit. Cover poems. We also welcome covers. So if you guys want to give tribute to a poet or writer that you look up to or someone in your community, we really welcome that because that's a great way to introduce people to new poets. All right. So hopefully you guys are enjoying Monday. I know it's been a long week. For me, it's been a long month. April, poetry month. It's also jazz month, and it's just like it's a month for a lot. They just threw a lot of things in this month, and it just so happens it coincides. I think it's community college month, so it's like it just coincides with like a lot of what I do, and which has led to a lot of events, a lot of hosting. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now and go ahead and start introducing our performers. As always, in addition to tuning in, you can support the artists, all the performers. So if they share like their social media, go follow them. It costs nothing to post to share them on your story. So if it's something you really appreciate and enjoy, you can share it and kind of it's like a signal boost. More people get to see it, which reminds me, even with this YouTube channel that you are on right now, our YouTube channel, we're trying to still get it out to people. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're slowly getting there. I didn't check the last numbers. We're around 630 or something like that. So we're close. So if you know people who like this thing, share the channel. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Always, if you can, like the video, share it with people. Other than that, that's the end of the commercial for now. I say we're out of El Paso, Texas. Most of us, a majority of us, or at least in the region. But because this is the magic of Zoom and online internet, we have people joining us from all over the world. As always, I'm really looking forward to meeting, introducing you to all these people. But let's go ahead and just kick things off. All right. As we've started the show many times before, we're going to go ahead and go up a little north from us to Denver and welcome Michael Sindler. That's right. It wouldn't be an open mic without Mike. It's true.
Yeah,
So when you're ready, hey.
yeah. Just in that whole thing about how people want to stick around who are getting their passports, and how we have been. The whole idea of a passport is to go around the world, and we do have some people from different countries here who are some of the finest poets I know. So if you're just here to get your passport, stick around because you're going to hear some people from other countries that are just absolutely amazing. Speaking of amazing things, I'm going to, as always, put up my little thing for lighthousewriters.org, which is physically based here out of Denver, Colorado, but because, of course, it's online, there are just all kinds of classes and workshops and events and wonderful things. And coming up the beginning of June is going to be Lit Fest, which is just off the chain, so great. I also want to go ahead and just mention that I will tomorrow at noon our time be featuring at Spoken World Online, which is a fantastic open mic out of Canada with one of the most gracious, just wonderful hosts around. It's right up there with Richie. Um, so that being said, I'm going to start, and as usual, I'm going to do stuff from recent things with this whole 30-30. I hope everybody's been doing well with their 30-30. I'm actually trying to get to 40 by tomorrow. That's my goal. So I'm going to start with this one called My Voice. My voice was hiding in those piles of junk in the front of lawns, a scavenger's yard sale situation. It was waiting under all the broken concrete and gypsum dust of construction site dumpsters. It was sitting sadly on the sidewalk where poor souls had been evicted, leaving whole lives heaped haphazardly, reinforcing finality. My voice cried out from the baubles and broken pieces and shattered ends of building materials, busted and begging for a second shot. It came to new life, new voice, finding powerful, meaningfully morphing with change of scenery, new positioning, each not junk against another, picked through and placed, pulled apart and reimagined. My voice began to sound, its first syllables as puzzle piece after twist of fate came together. The wind of change provided power, and my voice began to sing. A voice of destruction, revolution, recognition, reconnection, resolution. A song of temporality and forever. A song I try and try to remember. And next, I'm going to do this one, which I'm going to go ahead and share screen for. And this is a sculpture by my daddy. And I just changed the title of this poem a minute ago to Intention with Invention. And I'm sticking with that for now. Gray pumice father stonily yet gently hugs gray pumice son. Bare geometries, chiseled emotion. I can't help but think and say out loud, not very subtle when presented with unpredicted gift, only peace made solely to be mine, inspired by grades high enough to garner praise. Old man, much younger than I am today, using mallet and chisels and files to find form, gifting yet still admonishing, mixed message not missed nor meant to be, still keeping pride of place and room 45 years later, reaching back, remembering New Testament story, unusual for him, book he put little stock in, pulling out parable he felt appropriate, return of the prodigal son. Out of all his creations, this is the one, the only one, bequeathed specifically to me. We take the gifts we are given, take them in the spirit they are intended, even if we must parse intention with invention to make palatable, uncomfortable, but acceptable relationship with parable. And I'm gonna try and wish there was a way to change the way this thing works, but I can't, so I'll just do it as it is. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the hat and share screen again, but I don't usually do it for hat poems, but I just really like the way this poem is set up. I used to be really into moving stuff all over the page. I don't tend to do that a lot anymore, but I just think this goes really well with the idea of a sculptural poem. Why I Am Not a Sculpture by Jan Ye. To be a statue carved by Bernini, lounging in a climate-controlled museum in Rome is luxury, like the luxury of a personal pan pizza with unlimited free toppings, or the luxurious feel of a premium eye pencil used to draw bisons on the walls of a French cave. To be so white and glossy is unimaginable, like how I imagine a plate of eggs painted by Velasquez or the lid of a designer toilet cistern in a European magazine. I could be European and wear a dashingly arranged scarf or sip weirdly named liqueurs that taste like semen in a Rococo palais. But in the scheme of things, where I am marble and still my wrist will be a marvel, like the marble of an isthmus, whose name can only be pronounced if you have a lisp, or the marvelous sausage that saved a man from the Inquisition in 1582, it is definitely marvelous to be attenuated as the casually extended leg of a greyhound reclining on its own velvet settee. To be so thoroughbred is an accomplishment, like the thoroughly flattened face of a Persian cat, which always looks peevish, or the extremely frivolous ceiling of a banqueting hall where royals are put to death. If it is admirable to be so luxurious, then I will never be admired the way a designer toilet cistern is admired, or a piece of elaborate patisserie. Although I am not a statue, I've often held my arms aloft, as when catching a carelessly thrown baby or pointing at two meteors at the same time. It is exhausting trying to be so inanimate and desirable. If my arm breaks off the shell of a freshly filled cannoli, you will know why. Okay, thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that, man. And as always, thanks for sharing all the love to your communities, Lighthouse Writers. And over the years, we've discovered there's a lot of connections, you know, between, for example, one of our founders teaches there, so Trent Hundley and a couple other peeps too that are
Yep,
involved.
Trent
So yeah,
rules. Trent does a thing down at the Colorado History Museum, which I was just there the other night and got to be actually, I was front and center. I was right there for Natalie Diaz the other night. Wow, did she blow everybody's mind or what?
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
gotta love it.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Mike, for kicking things off as always. We're gonna go ahead and continue on. We're gonna come back to El Paso. I did mention I usually kick it off with my signage. We're live and alive in the 915, rocking my old Sheepdog Brewery cap, local brewery. If you guys are ever in El Paso, go check them out. We do have an open mic there. But our next performer read there recently. And always tears down the house. I think and brings people in through the word. Just recently had her Tumble Words workshop. Metaphors be with you, the coolest title ever. I still need to get the T-shirt that says that because why not? But right now, let's go ahead and welcome Robin Schofield back on the mic. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody. I think I'm unmuted, right? Okay. Yeah. Hi, Richie. Hi, everybody. I'm going to keep on reading some of these strange little poems I wrote, I guess 7 years ago, according to the date on the computer. Doesn't seem that long ago. So this one is Narciso has been among the skeletons in La Ciudad de los Muertos. So he's speaking out to them. Why do you stay here, bony citizens? What do you await before moving on underneath the grass and the billowing billions of stars? Surely our little earth cannot be where you want to stay in a walled city. Come forth, people of the moon and stars. Once you would eat corn in Chile, now you will become again the calcium that burns in distant nebulae, the birthplace of light metals. Skeletons move slowly, clackety-clack, noisily, step onto that grand highway, the Milky Way, mother lode of light. Narciso listens to Ramiro. Ramiro's life plods along like an old burro. Ramiro's cold. He's been cold a long time now. He served in Nam and never could come back to a different life. He has to wonder why there's no peace under the stars in the west he read about. 100 eyes open under the bridge. Liquor, smoke, and gold, the topics of the day. The worm at the end of the mind. Slouching gaucho lizard. A derecho goes by like a metal stallion. And the fancy boys inside in namesake duds. He never wanted to be one of those jerks. Now this one, Narciso and his sister Cantalilly are kind of trickster figures, and there's another trickster figure that I based some of these stories on, and he was an Iroquois trickster, and his name was Glooskap. All right, so Narciso meets him. It's my face that haunts me, Narciso said. I love it as I love no creature. Glooskap, mighty trickster spirit, said, the space where the fawn has lain during the day makes an impression that lasts well into the shadows. I am in love with the spotted fawn, but also his absence, Narciso reflected, for I, too, am in love with what's hidden. I cannot see my own face unless I stay by the pond, the mirror, or the window. I look in your eyes and see myself. So when you look at others, you do it to see yourself? What an ego. I might think you want to understand me, and you just use me as a mirror. Narciso said, I can't get enough of myself, it's true. My perfect face. Glooskap knew the goddess had created nature imperfectly, so he offered to punch Narciso in the nose. No, Narciso said. I'll keep looking for myself. All right, so those are a little weird. Oh, there it is. And then I want to give a plug for the Tumbleworks project, as Richie already did. I just taught a little workshop. It was fun. Metaphors, I think, are the building blocks of poetry. And next week, it'll be Kit doing a little workshop on Frank O'Hara. So I'm going to read a poem by Frank O'Hara. It's supposedly an Ars Poetica. That is, he's commenting on the art of poetry in the poem. And he's also comparing painting and poetry in a way. So, Why I Am Not a Painter by Frank O'Hara. I am not a painter. I am a poet. Why? I think I would rather be a painter, but I'm not. Well, for instance, Mike Goldberg is starting a painting. I drop in, sit down and have a drink. He says, I drink, we drink. I look up. You have sardines in it. Yes, it needed something there. Oh, I go, and the days go by, and I drop in again. The painting is going on, and I go, and the days go by. I drop in. The painting is finished. Where's sardines? All that's left is just letters. It was too much, Mike says. But me, one day I am thinking of a color, orange. I write a line about orange. Pretty soon it is a whole page of words, not lines. Then another page. There should be so much more, not of orange, of words, of how terrible orange is and life. Days go by. It is even in prose. I am a real poet. My poem is finished, and I haven't mentioned orange yet. It's 12 poems. I call it Oranges. And one day in the gallery, I see Mike's painting called Sardines. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. Thanks for sharing that. That kind of inspired me to look up maybe a poem, a cover poem I'll do later too at the end of the night. I'm gonna go second to last. I'm gonna open up for Dan, I guess, at the end of the show. But yeah, thanks everyone. Check out Tumble Words. Check out Robin's books. We got Ridge of High Pressure from Mouthfeel Press, and you can also check out any of her earlier books as well, like Flow. Okay, so what else? Hey, thanks for joining us. If you're just tuning in, this is our online mic. I want to give a shout out to Sandy and Christian hanging out in the chat with us here. If I'm always looking down, that's because I'm like reading chat. I have a Zoom chat going on, and I have a YouTube chat. Then I got like some other things going on as well. So that's what I was looking at the intro again, and I'm like saying hi, and I'm also like looking down a lot. I don't know why I have to explain myself, but yeah, no, I like when you guys interact with the chat. Christian made me laugh so loud right now, like behind the scenes while Mike was reading, because Christian was like, when the hat comes out, it gets serious, or something along those lines. I can read it right here, right? Oh, you guys been, yeah, the hat was whipped out. This just got real. I'm like, that's how we have our traditions. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna go and continue. Let me go ahead and stop rambling on. I ramble on and talk a lot when I'm nervous. Last week we had a debut, and as always, it's always great when someone makes it back to the mic. So our next performer is joining us from San Miguel, just up north from El Paso, a little south of Cruces. She's working on her upcoming release, and it's a very powerful project, right? Asking the question, is there love after PTSD? Let's go ahead and welcome back to the show, AJ. Happy Monday. Good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm not reading something from the book. I started out tonight and I had no clue what I was going to read, so I'm looking madly back through, my little notebook. There it is. See, and I found something that I think is interesting. I hope you enjoy it. It's called "How Could You Know?" How could you know what I couldn't say? How could you feel safe alone? How could you know how deep was your love? How could you know how afraid I am of losing you? How could you know how much it took? How hard it was? How could you know the things I hid so you wouldn't feel the pain? How could you know the things I still hide so you won't feel the pain? How could you tell how fragile I am? How could you know how deep was your love? How could you know you made me care? How could you know? How could you know I never met anyone smarter than me before? How could you know you made me care? How could you know I didn't know what love was before you? There you have it. It's called How Could You Know? And I'm just doing that one for tonight. So
All right, no, I really appreciate you sharing that. And as I understand it, you're still working on the promo and social media stuff. So we'll wait a bit on that.
oh God, I have landing pages for the forms in Flowdesk, and and Squarespace has made my life. What's worse than hell? Is there something we know that's worse than hell? Because if there is, that's what Squarespace did to my world for the last few days. And Google Workspace along with them, yeah. So it's been a challenge, but hopefully by next week we should have something linkable, and I'll be able to share it with everyone. I'm working on it.
All right, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. We are looking forward to that. As always, if you guys want links in the YouTube chat, let us know and we'll forward them along. I try my best, but sometimes I forget. So thank you, AJ, for joining us. Man, April, I'm just thinking, April, we did a lot of collaborations like all along the community, which is important to me. We had a really nice event. With the Center Against Sexual and Family Violence. We worked with the El Paso Public Library. We did something with, we did a lot of stuff with EPCC. I'm already, and since I decided to name them, I'm already forgetting some. That's the way it would work, right? But I think it's important to be rooted in our community and be addressing issues and trying to bring people together. So hopefully we can continue to do that. I just got an email from someone in Las Cruces who wants to do an art show. So I'm gonna follow up on that because we do have BWOMS in Las Cruces now, and it's super fun. But I'll talk about that stuff as we go along. We're gonna go ahead and move along to our next performer, who's got a poem and a song, and her songs are so fun. Always rocking the ukulele. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the show, Sue Schnitzer. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you. So today I'm coming to you from Bryan, Texas. I was in Hot Springs, Arkansas last week at this time and discovered they had a poetry open mic. It's been ongoing since 1989. Every Wednesday night, they've never missed one. So I changed my plans and stuck around so I could go to it. So I'm going to share a poem I sort of wrote that came about as a result of that open mic, and then a song based on a kid I met while I was in Hot Springs. So a rather new song that is debuting tonight. So here's the poem. I don't know what the title is, but anyway. There are poets in this town that's technically a city, artists and teachers, religious, spiritual, secular preachers, leading choirs, searching for reason, finding voices and meaning, providing space to be heard, listening, finger snapping. Someone told me this city is strange. I'm not sure what she meant. There are contradictions, rich and poor, old and new, people just passing through, fast food, sit down, trashy, clean, just like any place else. There's boarded up buildings, new businesses already looking tired, dollar stores, antiques, parks, a multi-use path, police patrols and warning signs, tourists talking loudly, complaining, exclaiming, pointing. Local kids graduate, leave, stay, just like any place else. City Hall, courthouse, museums and attractions, stores line block after block of the main drag. The downtown parking garage is free. The jail was moved out of downtown years ago. Whoever is in charge seems to be doing everything they can to keep money flowing in, just like any place else. Someone told me this city is strange. I'm not sure what she meant. It might be the contradictions. It might not be what she likes. But it's living enough to not be dead, which is more than can be said for some places. There are poets in this town, artists and writers, singers, musicians, creating their truths, seen, heard, when they want to be, just like any place else. Except, for them, this isn't just any place. It isn't strange. It's a haven. it's a home. Thanks, you guys. I don't share poetry aloud very often, so it's always a little nerve-wracking when I do. So this song, I think, did I title this song? Oh, it's called High School Dropout. It's not as sad as that, though. She was hanging out at Subway so she could charge her phone. I was using both outlets. She asked if she could use one. She said she's a high school dropout. Later she said she was expelled. She didn't like irrelevant classes. She thought school was a form of hell. Well, she wants to be a model and she's working on her GED. Thinking about getting a job at Sonic. Even skinny girls need to eat. Well, she says models don't need algebra. They don't need most of what's taught in school. Why do they try to teach her stuff she's never gonna use? Well, the only place she's traveled to is a beach in Florida. She asked me if I've ever been anywhere exotic. Well, I mentioned Bali and I can tell she's never heard of it. Well, she's got the gift of conversation. When she smiles, she looks so young. She doesn't wear much makeup. She's got a piercing in her tongue. And she wants to be a model. Every time she says it, she smiles. She needs to leave the small city, needs to figure out when and how. Yeah, she wants to be a model and she's working on her GED. Thinking about getting a job at Sonic. Even skinny girls need to eat. Yeah, she wants to be a model and she's working on her GED. Thinking about getting a job at Sonic. Even skinny girls like her, they need to eat. There you go.
All right. Hey, thank you, Sue. And you do have a YouTube channel. It's hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. Do you want to promote it really quick?
I'll throw it in the chat too. If you just do youtube.com, then you know that \ampersand, our favorite word. Yes, Michael goes. Music by Sue. Pretty simple. And then my Substack is Schnitzy Doodles, which was a nickname one of my daughter's friends gave me years ago. So I thought that's the perfect name for my blog. Thank you.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
the kind
right.
of name it's great to get in as adult, as a kid, maybe different.
I think it's fun. It's also really fun to say out loud. Schnitzy doodles. But check it out on the Substack.
I just thought it was fun to have this, like, 14-year-old kid calling me that. I thought, that works for me, man.
I like that. Yeah. That's very cool. And of course, music on YouTube, music by Sue. Check it out and make sure to forward that as well to all our fine peeps right now hanging out on YouTube with us. All right. I like the combo of a poem and a song. It's really nice. In the future, you're more than welcome to play 2 songs, by the way. So, because I'd love to hear more. I know I'm not the only one. If you guys agree, put ones in the chat. I'm just kidding. That's a YouTube thing. Or, I don't know, that's a live streamer thing. Yeah, but if you agree, put thumbs up in the chat. Let me know what's up. Okay, so we're gonna go to continue with some pros. Join us from Allentown, Pennsylvania. He's been doing some serialized poetry, some prose, and it's really fun because even though there's no beat, I'm always like nodding my head to the beat, like I'm nodding in agreement. So let's go ahead and hand things off once again to Kazi Kaz. Welcome back to the show. When you're ready, go and take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Or today, depending upon where you're at. So yes, as y'all know, I've been doing my ABCs. And last time I was here, I left off at letter P. So I thought today I would give you the letters from Q to V. Excuse me. Quellingly qualified, qualitatively quiescent, and quizzically questionable quotas. Quietly quoting quaintly quilted and quackily cued queries while on quantumly qualm quenching and quintessentially quid pro quoing quest for quickly giving queens to quickly quell quizzingly queer quirkiness. Quadratically quarantined the quarterly quarried quagmires from Quantico to Quebec. Question the quarty quality of quantitative quotients. Also, the quarreling quintuplets quippy quinceañera at Quiznos required quite qualified quarterbacking. My quivering quads were quiveringly quaky. What quesadillas, though? Anyway, rightfully relished the radiantly resonant rejoicings of righteously rudimentary rewards. Resurgently rise to responsibly reach our respectively refreshing resolutions. Respectfully reason with reasonably rational reasonings and receptively responsive retorts. Repugnantly repudiate the revoltingly reticent rats rigidly refusing to relinquish their repressively royal reigns. Remember to relentlessly resist the ruthlessly rude ramblings, rantings, and ravings of ritualistically religious rejects rapidly rendering to redundant right-wing radicals. Refinely resurrect the reminiscent resilience from the ridiculously rustic rubble of rusty ruins to the roaringly revolutionary and romantically renewed rapport recently realized. Rebelliously reveal the refurbished veneration of rampantly retrograding relationships. Realistically request robustly ratifying reinstatements of reserved rights regarding restitution, reimbursement, retribution, and redemption, or run. Because sometimes stoic silence is a sentiently soft and seldomly spoken speech. Sympathetically sincere sentiment substantively supports successfully symbiotic solidarities. The sensible salvaging of sparingly sweet salvation surprisingly specializes in scintillatingly speechless and sufficiently stimulating satisfaction. So sprightly spread this semantically sophisticated and scripturally synopsized soliloquy, selflessly saving the soulfully sacred spirituality from systematically stampeding stigmas and sadistically speculative slaughterings. Succumbing to sardonically stipulative and strategically suspicious sanctions, this sordidly stifling and sneaky seductions sacrilegiously serves to severely sever the serenely satiating sanctimony of our sadly sparse species. So skillfully sauntering symmetrically synchronized steps so as to safely survey the soberingly sickening swarming of steadily spawning subjugation while spitefully spitting on slightly slick slanderers. So. Because today, totaling the teeming totalitarianism truly tends to tastelessly take on tawdrily tough twists and tenaciously tempestuous turns, thus tauntingly tainting tacitly trustworthy tendencies. 10,000 trustingly truthfully trusted the truistically tapestried trustworthiness of triflingly tyrannical triumvirates. Truantly televised trends, toxically tempted, titanically turning tides of tastefully twirling thoughts. This tremendously trivializing trap tormentingly tricks these terrestrially traumatized tenants into trillions of tantalizingly tricky treats. So trepidatiously tread on this turbulently trying and treacherously tribulating trek torrentially towards tenderly taught teachings that transcendentally traverse topographically taxing terrains. Teamwork, y'all. Unfortunately, upsettingly uneducated utterances usually undo upliftingly unprecedented unity. Ultimately, unusually urgent upheavals of undying utopians unanimously urge utterly unusual uselessness. USA's unstably untamed and unjustly unfair uncle is undoubtedly unfit, unimpressingly uppity, unsuspectingly uninformed, undeniably untidy, and unreliably unhinged. Uniquely understanding urbanites from Utah to Uruguay under understandably unacceptable unification, uninhibitably unite usefully untapped unions by unofficially unmasking unsettling utilization of unilaterally unimpeded uniformity. It's up to us. Now, voraciously vicious vernaculars with violently vivacious verbiage vocally validate vehemently vile vaultings of vigorously vicissitudinal vocabularies, verbally validate and vindictively vacant vermin. Voltaire's valiantly vibrant verve was venerably visionary, viably vocating virulently valid vengeances, vicariously, vitally vast volumes of vestigially virtued vessels, voluminously vote for villainously viperous verdicts with velvety violinic vintage. Now variably variegated vagabonds, vulnerably vowed or vertically vitalized, virtuously vacant vipers, very verifiably voiced vigor, virtually vanquishes the veritably vague voices of vagrantly venomous vultures, and vice versa. Now that you know my ABCs, hopefully next time you'll say them with me. Thank you.
Kazi, thank you so much. That's always super, super impressive. Not just the writing of it, but just the delivery of it too. You know, like we had people in the YouTube chat like blown, their minds were blown. They're like, "Oh, I can't even talk that fast normally." You know, so how can people follow and support your work online?
I put it on the chat. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Yes. And thank you so much. I appreciate that for real, man. I put a lot into that, and I appreciate that y'all appreciate it. So thank you so much, man.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Kazi Kaz. Looking forward to the finishing of that. And then I was imagining it. I mean, well, first of all, again, I found myself like to the natural beat, like nodding along, like, all right, I hear you. But
Right.
got to do that all the way through, memorized. I'm just kidding. As the grand finale, or like as a follow up. I'm just kidding. But we look forward to hearing the rest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so once again, everyone, welcome back to the online mic. We are presented by the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series based out of El Paso, Texas, the U.S. Southwest. Again, we're getting ready to go a little international in a bit, but we're gonna take it to the hometown really quick, back to El Paso. And in fact, we do have a debut, at least online, because I've seen this person perform in person before at least once on our stage, but they do perform all over the city. They are a El Paso-based rapper, and today we're getting to meet the ViewTuber content creator, who is Raphael Leroux. Go ahead and I always feel like I messed that up, but go ahead and take it away. I think this is the first time VTuber in the house. Go and take it away when you're ready. What's up?
Yeah, you said it right.
I'm rocking with this, you bro.
Especially through the bumps and bumps. Walking through the fence upside down. Nothing going on when you back. So what's good? Especially through the bumps and bumps. Walking through the fence upside down. Nothing going on when you back. It's the what's good? Now, lost in the long ground. But I don't got it easy, trying to fight. They told me there's gold in the gallery, but I can feel my energy and feel like I'm like down at night. But I'm dripping like the slow mo. I just got to know about a boatload. She looking at me as a wow, it's joke though. I don't even know. No, I'm a rolling stone. It's my girl, my temptation. Working on me now, it takes it crazy. about being concealed, it's a big charge. I'm supposed to be born to keep talking. Phone time, walking with the pain inside the gang. I'm nothing over there. So what's the so you keep on walking with the pain inside the gang. I'm nothing over there. So what's the 92, proud to say that I've been missing you. Spend my nights in bed wishing I was missing you. You're by my side, if the boy wish I was next to you. But just know when I'm next to you, I still be thanking you. Cause you gave me all material to work from. Broke my heart through the shards to the first song. All the pain in my veins with your words, huh? Left a stain on my brain I can scrub off. But that's a part of me, and you the heart of me. I bleed you like the soul in my arteries. And you my muse, baby, said you the heart of me. You from the strength, let me think you know heart of me. Now I'm feeling like a kid in the dark room. See the shadows of you and all these passions. No way that ain't helping me. You think this way I gotta go, just so I can be there like I am. Walking with the pain inside, got me. Left alone with no one here inside. There's no one staying here every day. But you don't go back. Walking with the pain inside, got me. Left alone with no one here inside. So what's the one more song. This next one is actually written about one of my Salvador Dali.
Cool. That was awesome. I did you ask? Wait, can you say that again?
Yeah, I said I have one more song.
Cool. Can I make a quick recommendation? So if you
yeah,
can turn on the track a little bit in the mix. And also, I don't know if you have the option to turn on an original sound. I think your voice will come out a lot more full if you enable that and here on Zoom. I don't know if you know how to do that. Just because Zoom has like noise suppression software, so it makes it like kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But, so the like upper left hand corner of like the screen, the actual video, there should be an option like turn on original sound. And then yeah, if you just turn on the track, the cool track by the way. I'll ask you more about it after, but yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready for the next one.
All right. Is it sounding all right now?
Oh yeah,
did
that's
that.
way better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw what happened. Zoom for some reason had it synced to the computer mic rather than my actual microphone. So it's pulling audio from the wrong thing.
Yeah, this is way clearer. So yeah, whenever you're go for it.
All right. In the skyline, in the moonlight, the stars dancing around our head. On the shoreline, the clouds melting around our bed. On the moonlight, the stars dancing around our head. On the shoreline, the clouds melting around our bed. Cut it shot like a blade to the eye. Keep rising up like the legs to the sky. Love, hey, do not love me, no, they want me to die. But I am the drugs that I need in my life. I am the fleck in your veins that'll drive you insane. And I'm the pleasure and pain that's corrupting your brain. And I'm the man in the egg that's emerging for sex. While the time it just melts all around me, sing. This is the birth of man, witnessing all of the worst of man. So real that it's so real and it's unreal how the world could be in skyline, moonlight, stars dancing around our head. Shoreline, the clouds melting around our face. Moonlight, stars dancing around our head. Shoreline, clouds melting around our face. My mother's gone, my heart don't know no love. I know this song. Been searching the glow for my gala, but she in the dreams all around me. That rose in the sky where we wanna be. This is the essence of excellence, so effervescent, you know I'm the king. And this is the birth of man, witnessing all of the worst of man. So real, it is so real, and it's unreal how the world feels in starlight, the moonlight, stars dancing round our head. On the shoreline, clouds melting round our bed. In the moonlight, stars dancing round our head. On the shoreline, clouds melting round our bed. I'm all alone, my heart don't know no love. I ain't on it though, I am the drugs. Thank y'all so much. Once again, that song is called Dolly, inspired by one of my favorite artists.
That's really cool. Awesome. Yeah, well, welcome to the show. It was really fun. And really quick, I know if I hadn't already known you've collaborated, I would have been like, you gotta collaborate with Trizzyverse. Because
Oh yeah.
I hear the similarities in the styles, you know. And if you guys are in El
Yeah.
Paso, you know Trizzy. I think he's retired now. I don't know. Anyway, but you have a YouTube channel and TikTok. Do you want to promote that stuff really quick before we move on?
Yeah. All of my social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of it is at Who Is Raphael Leroux. And I'll go ahead and enter that in the chat a little bit later. But yeah, everything that I have is at Who Is Raphael Leroux. Also, if you're in El Paso, the El Paso History Museum just put up an exhibit on local artists throughout the years. I just went to the opening of it the other day, and one of the albums that I wrote on, a gospel album, the platinum plaque for that album is on display in the El Paso History Museum as well. So if you're in El Paso, go check that out. Honestly, I'm just honored to be in the same exhibit as, acts like the Mars Volta and at the drive-in, but yeah, if you're in El Paso, check that out at the History Museum.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, that's a great plug. Thanks so much. And yeah, looking forward to hearing more music. Who is Raphael Leroux? Check out on YouTube, all social media, pretty much, right? And keep up with the music. Thanks for joining us. It was cool. When I logged in and saw you on the sign up, she was like, "Oh, cool, right on." That's awesome.
No, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I love what you guys are doing.
All right, thank you, Hannah. Whenever you're ready for the BWOMS stage again, come on through the in-person one. Yeah, Mars Volta. Yeah, shout out to all the El Paso groups. Yeah, the museum has a great exhibition right now on the history of music in El Paso. If you guys have a chance, check it out. It's really cool. Okay, so I'm looking at the list here. Three of our next four performers are all international. That's cool. We get to go outside of the US. And I'm excited for that. And in fact, our next performer, we met and has started the Poetry Global Network. So we're gonna drop in Manila, the Philippines, where we have the amazing laconic. I just had to say it. Lacan in the house. What's up? How you doing?
Hey man, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, man. Oh wow. It's hot here. It's hot. It's summer now here in Manila, and I think a few days ago we had how high was that? 125 Fahrenheit weather. So it's like, yeah, let's cook it. Let's cook. Anyway, magandang umaga. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lakan and I am from Manila, Pilipinas. So I have two poems for today. One is an original and one is a cover. And usually I go with the hard-hitting social poems. But today, maybe not. The title of this poem is The Peeling of Creation. Scars are hidden stars in your person, longing to be looked up to. I am staring at the rarity of your humanness, its brushstrokes of madness, painted by the night sky that waited for me. I am home, on your embered insanity. It is my refuge from the blinding mundane. Let me slip away from the ordinary, as my eyes bow to an homage to the secret abode of your body. Hide me in the edge of your skin. Dim my want for the wanton. Conceal me on your obscurity. Permit me to be privy to your privilege. The eclipse of your ether, an arcane paradise I want to reside in. The shrouded vanta of your bedlam, lay me in your bed of mortality, wild as a formless patch of heaven. On a veneer of your clandestine marks, shade me with your constellation, for I am your companion. A compassion to your hued cosmos, living on the travertine of my awe, to how sublime your universe is, as I, your witness, surrenders to the color of your finite endlessness. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna do a cover. It's from my good friend from Singapore, and I used to live in Singapore for a year where I based my poetry, and yeah, I met him there, and he is published by University of Chicago, and the New York Times, and this poem that I'm going to share is from a book that he's part of, Chinese Erotic Poems. Ooh, Lacan is going to do erotic today. The title is I Didn't Expect to Write About Sex. Did you know that after I came, I imagined my pelvis had emptied out into a dark cave you could crawl into. Lay yourself down and fill my body with your sleep. This isn't really about sex, is it? Yet I could write about your tongue, how cleverly you rotate it like a key to slip open every lock of resistance under my skin. Muscles loosening like 100 doors creeping open across the conservative suburban town of this flesh. Desire stepping into the open like Meryl Streep in that film with Clint Eastwood. A wind calling forth the stiff body from under her dress so wholeheartedly. How could she not help but undress? Welcome it in. I could also write about your hands, tenacious dogs of your fingertips, unearthing pleasure from every pore, jump-starting nipples with a flick of your nails each time you pushed in deeper from behind. I must not forget to write how much I love you when you warn me not to swallow. I love how I take you anyway, into my mouth like tugging a recalcitrant child back into the house, even though he realizes deep inside himself that he would always long for home. I love how you taste what was inside of you now. It's inside of me, sliding down my throat. How like it is a sweetest secret. I could write about how when you fell off the peak of your mounting hunger, Your hands stayed anchored upon my nape, as if to keep from drowning, as if to let me know, even when I'm this far gone, I'd want you here. I want you with me. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much, everyone.
Lacan, man, thank you. And I mean, first of all, with poems like that, no wonder it's 125 degrees out there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta cool it off a little. I'm just kidding. How can people follow and support you online?
I am on Instagram, Facebook, X, other socials, but the main is Instagram, the LKN Poetry, across all social media, and also my Gmail is the LKN Poetry. Then also, finally, after 7 years, oh my God, took me a while, guys. Took me a while to earn my stripes. I wanted to earn my stripes and not just release a book. So my book is going to be launched on July 28th. And I chose to be published by PGN Publishing. We are a publishing house also, registered in the UK. And it's going to be released and officially launched at the Poetry Festival Singapore on July 28th. So, yay!
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. We're super excited about that. If you have not had a chance, go follow Lacan on social media. Lacan has an amazing social media presence, and that's going to be fun to celebrate. Shout out to Poetry Global Network. I did not know about the publishing thing, but I guess that makes sense, right? Yeah, I'm grateful for PGN. I've been on a couple programs, a podcast. I got invited to do a panel at the online poetry festival in Ireland. That was super fun. Yeah, so I'm super grateful. Thank you, Lacan, and looking forward to seeing that like manifest more. Cool. Also, yeah, it's been a while since you've been on. And with the camera on. That was fun. All right, cool. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna like be bouncing around now like crazy all around the globe, all around the world. But right now we're gonna come back home for just a brief moment. And the comfort of home, because that's where the heart is, and a big heart and part of BWOMS. He's been hosting both in person. He did a great job at Old Sheepdog Brewery last Thursday. But of course, you guys know him here from Monday. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the stage, Kit Ren. What up, man?
What's up, Richie? Great to see everyone. Great to be here. Hello to you on the internet and in the future. You're looking good today. That new diet is working out. You're making good decisions. We're real happy for you here in the past. I just talk sometimes. Doesn't make sense. But something I haven't pulled out in a while, we're going to blow the dust off it because it came up in the after party last week. And remember, if you're so inclined, stick around for the world famous after party. But this is one I wrote a very long time ago. And called The Legend of the Bloody Record. In Ceausescu's Romania, 1 in 3 citizens was a Soviet spy, a government spy. So if you lived in Cluj and kept to yourself, didn't really talk to the neighbors very much, the math was not on your side. Think of how many neighborly disputes turned with alacrity into state-sanctioned murders. Loud music at all hours. Wait, loud Western music? No. Well, yes. A young man named Johan achieved a peaceful silence in this way, and 2 days later, he was picking through the empty apartment for something to sell. Nothing of much value, but he was taken with a record, possibly the same record that set this into motion. H to He and the Only One by Van der Graaf Generator. Johan is feeling a little bit smug and bulletproof and decides to give it a spin. A violent silence was imposed on Johan 2 weeks later. The Van der Graaf Generator record makes its way from Cluj to Yonere to Bucharest and eventually to Kiev, Kharkiv, Odessa, as far as Krakow to the north and Sofia to the south, leaving nothing but military tribunals in its wake. Eastern European progressive rock fans were decimated, struck down so completely it was as though it was a harvest. The trail of the bloody record loses its connection to the Second World during the Panjir offensives in the 80s. Perhaps it was being weaponized. Not much research had gone into the idea, at least not much recorded research. The Soviets wouldn't have been the first army to throw something crazy at the wall and worry about laboratory testing at a later date. This might all seem fantastic and hard to believe, bordering on the impossible. But if you believe nothing else I tell you tonight, believe this. You may remember the 2011 accounts of Osama bin Laden's lair, the accounts of the pornographic magazines and DVDs, the unreasonably large supplies of Nestle chocolate, the refusal of the man who declared unconditional cultural war on the West to pick a side between Coke and Pepsi. But you do not remember this, because you were never told this, because there is no explanation for what SEAL Team 6 found when they burst into a barricaded room and saw a terrorist mastermind sitting in a beanbag chair, wearing square headphones connected to a dusty turntable by a coiled wire, which would have resembled a telephone cord if there were such a thing in 2011. Rocking out, as it were. Spinning on that turntable was H2He and the Only One, the third studio album by British progressive rock band Van der Graaf Generator. What survives a war? We don't know. We don't get to pick. We're lucky if we even notice. Yeah, so a quick one to balance out the length of that one. Quick one called The Ode to the Hangover. We are so quick to appeal to the conscience and tell the ones who would cleave us apart that history will judge them. Yet we live in fear of the only physiological proof of this. Why? You, hangover, are the only one who knows what really happened. I trust only your accounts, not any texts, nor any photography. No headache has ever yet told me a lie. Hangover, inerrant morning judge, I surrender without condition to the mercy of your courts. All of the things that quote-unquote cure you are things I should be doing anyway. As if Jiminy Cricket himself jumped into the mescal, you will reveal all the lessons learned and forgotten. And in the morning, whoops, afternoons, lights, I will find the clarity that other drinkers drink to avoid. And for the cover poem, following off what I usually do in April of sharing a different poem each day, but still, I found this one and wanted to share it in some way that I could. Mumble transition. I'm going to read from my cover poem, the hat poem as Michael calls it, The Right Foot of Juan de Oñate by Martín Espada, for John Nichols and Arturo Madrid. On the road to Taos and the town of Alcalde, the bronze statue of Juan de Oñate, the conquistador, kept vigil from his horse. Late one night, a chainsaw sliced off his right foot, stuttering through the ball of his ankle, as Oñate's spirit scratched and howled like a dog trapped within the bronze body. 4 centuries ago, after his cannon fire burst to burn hundreds of bodies and blacken the adobe walls of the Acoma Pueblo, Oñate wheeled on his startled horse and spoke the decree. All Acoma males above the age of 25 would be punished by amputation of the right foot. Spanish knives sawed through ankles. Spanish hands tossed feet into piles like fish at the marketplace. There was prayer and wailing in a language Oñate did not speak. Now, at the airport in El Paso, across from Juarez, another bronze statue of Oñate rises on a horse, frozen in fury. The city fathers smash champagne bottles across the horse's legs to christen the statue, and Oñate's spirit remembers the chainsaw carving through the ball of his ankle. The Acoma Pueblo still stands. Thousands of brown feet walk across the border, the desert of Chihuahua, the shallow places of the Rio Grande, the bridges from Juarez to El Paso. Oñate keeps watch high on horseback above the Rio Grande. The law of the conquistador rolled in his hand, helpless as a man with an amputated foot, spirit scratching and howling like a dog within the bronze body. Okay, and plug time. You can find me on Instagram at KitRenAway. It's my name and then away. Little joke for the people. Facebook, easy enough to find me. Ko-fi.com/KitRen. You'll find a very belletristic essay, series of essays about American football and its rich, beautiful history. I love football. No one ever expects that. This is a Venn diagram, poetry football. It's a Venn diagram that looks like a set of car headlights to some people, but you know, I'm not responsible for what other people think. Tumble words, May 4th. Where's my tote bag? It's somewhere else. May 4th, I'll be leading the workshop with something about Frank O'Hara. Gonna look at 3 poems of Frank O'Hara and write to it. May 11th, we're gonna have Shocky G come down. It's over Zoom. From the safety of our own homes, we'll get together with Shocky G out of Pittsburgh. And her workshop's going to be called Just the Facts. Very Joe Friday. And then May 18th, I have forgotten the title she gave me, but Maria Perez will be hosting then, and she has given me a title. So I will post the schedule for the month soon as I hear back from one person. And Tumble Words just keeps tumbling along. And so does the part of our open mic series. El Paso's longest running open mic series. And we'll kick it back to your host, Richie.
All right. Thank you, Kit, so much. Another great set. And we're looking forward to always more Tumble Words. So for those of you who are aspiring writers watching on YouTube on the live stream or watching the replay later on during the week or whenever, really, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, go hit up Tumble Words, because the trick to being a writer is you got to write. So yeah, those generative writing workshops really push you to do so. I personally always have a hard time just getting started, or like, so sometimes you just push yourself and understand it's not gonna be perfect the first time. That's why editing is probably like a huge part of writing more than the actual writing itself, right? Thanks, Kit. As always, we're gonna go ahead and thanks again to the magic of Zoom and the internet. We're gonna be zooming all around the globe, and we're gonna go ahead and kick things off back in Malaysia, where we have Julian Matthews here with us. Always has some great, profound poems to share. Hashtag not poetry. Julian, when you are ready, go ahead and take it away.
This is called Vesper Flight. It's republished on epoecho.com.my. I read about how some migratory birds crossing vast oceans non-stop can catch sleep in mid-flight. Just snatches here and there, and only at night. Sometimes with one eye open to prevent collisions. Isn't that how many of us lead our lives, under pressure, trusting the wind to carry us, letting the air catch our breaths? Maybe we just need to land and rest a bit. I left the sky because your blue was overwhelming. Yet I still hear your cawing in the distance, this constant pecking for mealworms under bark, these incessant annoying tweets on my shoulder, this furious fluttering poking at my eyes, sucking my tears up like nectar. I am my own prey now. I tuck my head under my own broken wings and let these talons dig deep into this unworthy flesh. I am evolving, flightless. I'm more earthed now, a groundling. I'd rather crawl into my own skin than feather this empty nest, yet you say it was always about me. I say maybe. Happiness is a selfish thing with strings attached. You give in order to receive. They take and take and take until we both break. Some gifts are better left unwrapped. They are flying lessons in paper planes. We rise and fall, crash and burn. You fight the flow, then eventually learn to let go. Truth, yours and mine, like currents, can part in separate directions. Acts of faith can't be taught, they come late in flight. Being selfless doesn't come naturally to me. I need to find solace in other lost souls first. Only those who seek will be found, they say, but even amateurs can be profound. It may be a while before I can rise above it all, go high, crest the night sky, shut both eyes, and trust the wind again. Perhaps I'll meet you there on mended wings and a final whispered prayer. That was first published in Lorien Poetry Journal, edited by Ryder Marcus Jones. The second poem, I just posted this. Yeah. Oh, it's going. No wrong answers. Is your glass half empty? Is your heart half full? Is your brain all muddled? Is the water too murky to see through? Are you drowning in your own glass? Do you feel half empty? Are you the glass? Is your half empty heart made of glass? Is it so fragile that it can break? Can you swim laps in your own brain? Can you tread on water and avoid the broken glass at the bottom of your heart? Can you feel the emptiness of it all? Once I was asked to dive off the boat and swim to shore. I was not a strong swimmer, but it was a test. To pass my scuba diving class, I needed to prove to the instructor that I could make it to shore if I had to abandon my gear and save myself. I struggled and almost drowned. I could hear them laughing as I sunk in the water filling my mouth so fast that I could barely scream out for help. Then someone pulled me up and unceremoniously yanked me back into the boat. That day I could hear my heart pounding harder than it ever has, even as I was drowning in the sea. I almost felt the temptation of letting go, pouring out of this broken glass, becoming the water, becoming all heart, emptying and filling up, emptying and filling up. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Julian. And as always, feel free to share any relevant links that you would like us to pass along. Yeah, I'm always appreciative of getting to see the text, visualize the text and layout. And yeah, congrats. And then always thanks for coming through. There it is. Oh, let me copy and paste that right now. All right. Julian's got a link tree. By the way, if you guys have been doing this, if you do this online stuff, highly recommend something like Linktree, right, where you can like put all the links together. It makes it a lot easier, you know, and you can update it. We do have a Linktree, by the way, Linktree, El Paso BWOMS, and you can actually subscribe. And by subscribing, you can be notified whenever we post the new sign up sheet each week in and week out. You know, we do this every week, and I try my best to post it by the day before Sunday at a reasonable time. Unfortunately, like Cormac McCarthy wrote, between the wish and the thing, the world lies waiting. And sometimes I end up getting a little later than I plan to a lot of the time. But if you subscribe to our link tree, that's probably the first and fastest way to get on that sign up sheet, by the way. I'll link it for you guys as well. But right now, we're going to go ahead and continue with our international tour. We're going to head a little closer to home, but we're going to stop in Canada, Ontario, in fact, where our friend Cassie is in La Casa, keeping it classy. Cassie, when you are ready, go ahead and take it away. What's up?
Hey Richie, your intros are getting more amusing. Do I? So I'm gonna do that thing where I ask you if my audio makes me sound like a robot, because I hate performing sounding like a robot.
You sound perfectly clear. You only sound paranoid out of context. Just kidding. Yeah, you sound clear. You're good to go.
Okay. Uh, this first one is tentatively called Get There. Say one day this skin is shed. I shake it loose, and underneath is the quiet confidence I flirted with for years but never committed to. Say I get there, and the fear is dampened, or rather, I grow a dial for turning down its volume. Say I get there, and underneath is the ability to glide in and out of happy and less happy states. And finally, my skin feels like the right place to be, and I find that elusive sense of security, where I'm not trying on new layers all the time, struggling to adjust to each new day's light. Okay. And this next one is called Soak It All Up, after Lyd Havens. What is the word for nostalgia that no longer tastes the same, that lingers but isn't tinted with its sepia tone anymore? Sometimes when a memory fades, like a photograph, it loses its depth, its complexity of its colors fades, slowly disintegrates. What sticks over time is the awareness that the main thing you can trust is that intimacy will come again. You will find it in the most unlikely places, in a cold hospital hallway, on a street corner between a fire hydrant and a garbage can, teetering on the edge of a graffitied lantern, beneath a dimly lit bar, in the back of a cab, at the edge of the dock, at the bottom of a kiddie pool. You will absorb it, and when it leaves, it will seep out of your pores for years, and it will hurt every time. But when it reappears, you will do well to be brave and soak it all up, every last drop, all the same. Consider yourself a squishy sponge that must continue to take it all in, just as it accepts release. Okay. And I think the last one I'm going to do tonight is a cover poem called Directions for an Important Display by Alice Perel. Look for small things, a nail, a pebble, a drop of rain, a snowflake, even after it has melted. Put them in a collage, an intricate arrangement with subtle colors, barely discernible texture. Hang it up. It may need to dry for several centuries, cured by weather. Take it out again, view it with great admiration. Add a soundtrack. You may or may not get an audience. If not, show it in the sunlight and let it gradually fade, and then start over. Okay. So that's all I have for poems tonight. I am still in the midst of running an online generative poetry workshop called Bound to Temporary Spaces. It's a 5-week generative poetry workshop on Zoom. We're entering our 3rd week. The workshop centers around the theme of exploring connection to place and feelings of disconnection to place as well. Particularly focusing on like feelings of longing to connect to the environment, like the natural world, and feeling and laments of feeling disconnected from it. So anyway, if it interests you, you can check out my Instagram at relentless intrigue. I have no idea why I struggle to say that sometimes. I'll throw the sign up form in the chat. Also, it has more details if anybody is curious and would like to have a look. Okay. Thank you, Richie.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Cassie. Always killing it with the readings and the cover poems and your originals. Check it out. Check out the workshop. Hit her up for the deets. Show us the deets. That sounded weird. Okay. Anyway, we have a couple more people signed up. I think I got peer pressure in the reading. I gotta find some pieces, but I have to admit, when I was introducing Cassie, I subliminally was thinking about our next performer because that explains why I had to rhyme Cassie with classy. You already know it. It's the rhyme king on the scene. It's Mr. Fantastic, who just recently celebrated his birthday last week. Let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Ed Poetastic. Ed, wait, are you here?
Yep, I'm
What's
here.
Up? What up, man? How are you?
What up, bro?
Go and take it away.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you for making my day. Hello, everyone. My name is Ed Potastical, feeling fantastic. Using the time to control my rhyme file feel sublime. I got 8 jokes, 1 mini poem from our wonderful Robin, aka Kit's mom's workshop that was on Tumblewords on Saturday, and 3 other columns for the 30 to 30 challenge for Poetry Month. Happy Poetry Month. But anyway, hope you chuckle your buckles. The first joke is, why did the people not like the restaurant on the moon? Because there was no atmosphere. What do you call a comet wrapped in bacon? A meteor. Why aren't astronauts hungry when they get to space? They had a big launch. What do the what did the Mars say to Saturn? Give me a ring sometime. What does an astronaut call his ex from space? SpaceX. What did the astronaut say when he crashed into the moon? I apologize. Why don't aliens eat clowns? Because they taste funny. And last but not least, why didn't the sun go to college? Because he already had 1,000,000 degrees. All right. This poem was from our wonderful Robin, aka Kip's Mom's workshop. It was on Tubble Words. Yes, on Saturday. And this is what I got from it. This is called Life is a Tree. Life is a tree with many different leaves. Life is a box of chocolate, bitter to the tongue, but sweet on the lips. Life is chess, tactics for the progress of success. Life is a book, pages giving us a shook or a hook. Life is a garden, blossoming flowers over again. Life is a puzzle, putting it all together with a struggle. Life is a bird, giving us songs, eggs, or turds. Life is poetry, an inner bittersweet melody. Life is a movie, playing us horror, suspense, drama, or a thing of beauty. Life is you, trying to do the best only you can do. Thank you. My other one is called, well, it was a 30-30 challenge. The word prop was life is a ring. So I got this. Life is a ring. The bell sings, taking the hits for the misfits. Bobbing and weaving, my mind keeps leaving. Here comes a punch. Glad we didn't have lunch. We're spitting up blood, our mini red flood, cheering from the crowd, making joyful sounds. Brains in shambles, ideas scrambles. We are falling down, the beds are ground. We hear 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's not that easy. We get up, we feel pumped. We give him an uppercut for the inner rut. He goes down, going to Pound Town. We are the winners. The air's gone thinner. This is life. Life's a fight. Never give up. You are a tree, not a stump. Thank you. And this is called First and Last. First and last, we're always behind in the back of our mind. Sorry, we're always behind in the back of our heads. We can't stay blind by the rushing tide. We're all winners. We are all beginners. We are not losers. We are not snoozers. We have unique skills. We can help or kill. We send chills or thrills. We, the queens or kings of the hill. Don't be belittled by society. They don't understand variety. They don't understand who you are. You're a bright, shining star. Please don't stop having high expectations. Why not get on a why not go on a stress-free vacation? Who are you trying to impress? Don't press for progress. You want to be like everyone else? You're a book on the global bookshelf. Why can't you appreciate you? Maybe you need to change your view. Why must you outdo everyone? The moon isn't outdoing the sun. Everything isn't a competition. It's not life's grand definition. Maybe point the telescope within, but be your cheerleader and your friend. You don't live twice, but once. Be happy sage than an arrogant dunce. Thank you. Last but not least, this is called Maniac. I lost my mind in the crazy world, left far behind in a rapid spiral. My grip on reality is wearing thin, living my fantasy to where or when. The walls are closing. We're stuck in a box. We keep on folding, trying to pick the lock. Maybe you're in my head, or I could be dead. I don't know what I said. My thoughts are heavy as lead. If you like me, wanting to be free, please feel at ease. Search for help, you best guarantee. It feel like a curse, but it can get much worse. Don't let the wind disperse. Get help before it hurts. I know I don't understand, but we all need a hand. Sometimes it's too hard to bear, but I want you to know someone cares. Thank you.
Yeah, Ed, thank you so much, my friend. For the people online, sing along if you know the words. But Ed, I have a question to ask you, and it's important, and it's this: where can the fine people follow and support your work online?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can follow me, you can support my work online while I come to this wonderful open mic that makes our Monday nights a delight in the wonderful fantastic spotlight. All right, but if you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IGN is Eddie Foreman 92. And if you don't forget, if you ever want to listen to me, please feel free to go on this wonderful open mics that makes our wonderful nights a delight and a wonderful fantastic spotlight. Um, but if you okay, I'm sorry, my mind's a blank. Okay, come on, I'm sorry. Hope everyone stay blessed, never stop speeding once the wonderful world of society chess, never stop being and feeling your best, never stop being you and doing the things that you do, and never stop pushing on through. Remember that we love you. Woo!
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Oh man. I love having you here, man. And the jokes, I mean, I love space jokes. So you had me there. Also shout out to Christian who found the skull emoji. He used it quite appropriately. Anyway, guys, this is the part where I stall while Dan gets ready. Okay, so I've got a couple cover poems that I'll share first before then. And Robin mentioned oranges, and so it made me think of a pair of poems I'm going to read back to back. First, this is Ode to the Orange, Pablo Neruda. Ode to the Orange. When I penetrate your contours, your waters, praise your women, and see how your forests sway with sacred birds and leaves, the wheat spilling over in granaries and ships sailing in dark estuaries. I understand that you are planet an orange, a fruit of fire. All right, so that's Neruda. And this is called Oranges by Gary Soto. The first time I walked with a girl, I was 12, cold, and weighted down with 2 oranges in my jacket. December, frost cracking beneath my steps, my breath before me, then gone. As I walked toward her house, the one whose porch light burned yellow night and day in any weather, a dog barked at me until she came out pulling at her gloves, face bright with rouge. I smiled, touched her shoulder, and led her down the street, across a used car lot and a line of newly planted trees, until we were breathing before a drugstore. We entered, the tiny bell bringing a sales lady down a narrow aisle of goods. I turned to the candies, tired like bleachers, and asked what she wanted. Light in her eyes, a smile starting on the corners of her mouth. I fingered a nickel in my pocket, and she lifted a chocolate that cost a dime. I didn't say anything. I took the nickel from my pocket, then an orange, and set them quietly on the counter. When I looked up, the lady's eyes met mine and held them, knowing very well what it was all about. Outside, a few cars hissing past, fog hanging like old coats between the trees. I took my girl's hand in mine for 2 blocks, then released it to let her unwrap the chocolate. I peeled my orange that was so bright against the gray of December that, from some distance, someone might have thought I was making fire in my hands. Anyway, I like those 2 poems as complimentary poems. Next, here's Eminem rhyming orange. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So I think that's it for me today. I didn't have a chance to prepare any of my originals. I should though. But yeah. Oh, by the way, EPCC students, if you guys need the Tejano Passport program, find me on the directory. Okay, Dan's already ready to go. All that noise you hear is Dan. But yeah, follow me. I do teach at the campus. All right, let's just get Dan up. Dan, where are you, man? In a thunderstorm? What's up, Dan? Take it away. Audio's a little weird.
Take off the headphones or put them on or whatever.
My phone, I don't have the headphones yet. Or can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Better. Okay, no, we can't hear you anymore. You sound like a Muppet drowning underwater.
Can you still hear me?
I mean, I can now, but I feel like as soon as I say yes and you start, it's gonna be weird again. Yeah, see, exactly. It's weird. It sounds weird, man. What happened to the headphones? They work. Oh, nothing.
Nope.
I feel like, ooh, let's look at Dan's room. Let's analyze. Ooh, there's Dr. Doom. You got Mountain Dew. Is that a bong I see? Just kidding. Just kidding, Dan. I know. All right. So this is the part of the show where Dan figures out his audio. This is a pretty consistent thing, which is fine. This is our way to close the night.
One of our longer running segments, yes.
Yeah. It's a running gag.
Can you hear me?
Better.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
You're good to go.
Okay. All
Why
right.
don't you start with the headphones, Dan? I feel like this is every time. All right, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay. As we come to a close, yep, like the rhyming dictionary is worth for the poetry. Is April is National Poetry Month. Is the words is place to be. Rhyming dictionary. The words are place to be for the poetry. Yep. Okay, but I've selected one each of this. So we're gonna once again Auden, Auden poems, WH Auden, and here it is. We are about to approach the month of May. Yep, the month of May, page 33. Okay. May, with its light behaving, stirs vessel, eyes, and limbs, the singular and sad are willing to recover, and to each swan delighting river, the careless picnics come in are dead, remote hooded, and hollows rest, but we from their vague woods have broken forest where the children met, and white angel vampires flit, stand now with the eyes shaded eyes, dangerous apple taken. The real world lies before us, brave motions of the young, the abundant wish for death, the pleasure haunted, a dying master sinks tormented in his admirer's ring, the unjust walk the earth. And and love that makes impatient, tortoise and roe that lays, the blonde besides the dark, the urges upon our blood before the evil and the good. How significant is touch, endearment, look. That's May from Arden. Yep. Page 33. Okay. And one book from Teaching with Fire, poetry that sustains the courage to teach. Yeah. The poet that took the place of a mountain, page 151 by Wallace Stevens. There it was, word for word, the poem that took the place of a mountain. He breathes its oxygen, even when the book lay turned in the dust of his table. It reminded him how he had needed a place to go into in his own direction, how he had recomposed the pines, shifted the rocks, and picked his way among clouds for the outlook that would be right, where he would be completed in a unexplained completion, the exact rock where his exactness. Sorry, I'm having inexactness would discover at last the view towards which they had edged, where he could lie and, gazing down at the sea, recognize his unique and solitary home. That's the poem that took the place of a mountain by Wallace Stevens. Yep. There it is.
Okay, well, yep, and that concludes. Well, tomorrow will be the last day of the National Poetry Month, which I don't know if I'm going to be at Mona Bar tomorrow or not. We'll keep you posted. So, again, Dan Mance Weekly currently on hiatus until further notice. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much, everybody. You have a great night. God bless. Okay, Richie, let's go ahead and call it a night.
And the man. And the man, I need to start bringing the looper back for this thing. Hey, so if you guys are in the El Paso area, I mean, by the way, thanks for tuning in. Yes, as always, whether you tune in live or kind of listen to us like a podcast at some point during the week, it's all appreciated. Thank you so much. We do have Mono Bar this Tuesday, and I feel like there's something more. Hold on, am I tripping out? I think this Saturday, I'm going to be the official MC for El Paso's Finest Art Festival. It's going to be May 4th, so may the 4th be with you. That's going to be at the Abada House on Paisano Street, and that's going to be like a whole day thing, 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. A lot of live music, a lot of vendors. There's going to be artists. There's going to be live art, live painting, crafts, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of friends are playing music. We also have a bunch of poets. I'll be spinning some stuff as well. So that's El Paso's Finest Art Festival. I wanted to give a quick plug to that. Yeah, so it's going to be super fun. If you want to know more, you can just message me. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Dead Wall Reveries, which isn't around here at the moment. But yeah, we'll be back next Monday. If you guys do want to join us, follow us on Linktree, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up. It's as easy as that. Hopefully, it's been a great April for everyone. We'll see you in May at the online mic. All right, that's it. Good night, guys. As promised, some of us will stick around online for the after party. So if you ever want to join us in the live chat, or any fans, come on through. And if you want to share stuff without the pressure of doing it online and all that, you can also share work. That's also acceptable. All right.